Hey guys, this is Viraj Kamdar with V Physique. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the nutritional lifestyle spectrum. Basically, there are four different lifestyle approaches, which are, eating healthy, portion control, counting calories, counting macros, and altogether, you'll find that different individuals, utilize one or more of these approaches, and they kind of fall on this spectrum. So, I want to go into a little bit more detail about each one of these four different lifestyles, give you a little bit of an overview, talk about the pros and cons of each, and then kind of wrap it up with who I think each approach is ideal for. So if you know someone who is trying to get started and eat healthy, or maybe they're trying to find the right approach for their physique goals they're trying to attain, this video will be perfect for you guys. So sit back and enjoy. All right, so the first approach that I want to talk to you guys about is eating healthy. And what do I mean by this? Basically, this is kind of like the generic cookie cutter information that's been out there for years and years. You have the My Food Pyramid, you have the My Plate Now, you have the 2,000 calories suggested intake each day, 8 to 10 glasses of water, or 4 to 7 fruits and vegetables. It goes on and on. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So, basically, what are the pros of this? Well, first, this information is readily available to you guys. You can just Google search and it'll just pop right up, and it back up any kind of food product. You have the 2,000 calories suggested intake and the breakdown. There's also a lot of online tools like the Choose My Plate and foodpyramid.com to kind of give you a little bit more guidance. Some of the cons with this approach is it's very generic and it's not really tailored to your personal goals, to your body composition, to your gender, etc. So basically, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's really just information on the types of foods which are healthier for you. And that kind of gets me into my next point of who I think this is ideal for. I think this is really ideal for people who are new to the health and fitness industry. People who have, chronic overweight and obesity issues, or people who are very unfit and they really want to make like a quick change, but, they're kind of feel a little overwhelmed with some of the programs that are out there. They really just want to look at changing some of their eating habits. And so this is perfect for those individuals. It kind of takes you from eating all of this junk food and food that's terrible for you and gives you a little bit of guidance on what types of foods and, rough quantities that you should be eating or keeping in mind. So that's the first lifestyle, and I'll start that on this side of the spectrum. Now, for the second lifestyle is what I could call portion control. So portion control is basically when you're eyeballing your food, taking more educated guesses to the portions of how much you're eating. It's all about eating in moderation, and a lot of times you will use your fist or your fingers to kind of measure out how much food you're consuming. What are the pros of this? Well, all you really need is your hands, so it's very convenient, and you don't need any food scales or calculators. You're not really working with any numbers, and you know what? This is a little bit better than just the generic "I'm going to eat healthy." You do have a better sense of portions, and you have a better sense of how much food you're kind of eating. It's really great for people who are, have more smaller goals. Maybe they just want to gain a couple pounds or lose a couple pounds. They want to become more conscious of what they're eating. And, they have a busier, fast-paced lifestyle, don't really meal prep a whole lot. But, they might be just going to your Whole Foods or going to your Trader Joe's and Subway, etc., and just getting food in that way. And these are also people who really don't like numbers or math too much. So I think this is the second lifestyle approach. First you have I'm just going to eat healthy. Second, you have portion control. I'm going to watch what I eat and try to make a little bit more of a conscious effort to understand what I'm intaking into my body. Now, for the third approach is counting calories. I would say this is starting to become probably the most popular lifestyle method I'm seeing, especially for people who are more health conscious and more fitness enthusiasts. The premises behind this is calories in versus calories out. Basically, to use this effectively, you need to calculate total daily energy expenditure, or your TDEE. Basically, to get an idea of how many calories you're burning, if you were to just lay in bed for 24 hours, just naturally. Normal body functions, it's going to burn calories, and basically these calculators will help find out how much that is. And then from there, you basically just add or subtract calories to meet your weight goals. So, for an example, if you're trying to lose 1 pound a week, you'll take your BMR and you'll subtract 500 calories from that, and you'll do that for 7 days straight. And 700 over 5 days is 3,500 calories, which equals 1 pound. So you would lose 1 pound in that week. So basically, this is great for weight management, to quickly add or lose weight. What are the pros of this? Okay, so this is definitely a little bit more scientific than the first two lifestyle approaches. It's easier to hold yourself accountable, and everything these days really has a nutritional label, or in calorie indicators. A lot of times, even if they don't, you can really Google search that food item, and it'll usually come up, and you can find out the calories. Apps like MyFitnessPal, Fitbit, those are great ways of calculating your calories in versus calories out. Now, some cons for this. It is more restrictive. People who are big time followers of this, it's really hard to eat items that aren't published anywhere. A lot of homemade, Auntie Anne's recipe, or, grandma's recipe. Sometimes hard to calculate how many calories that is. Also, BMI calculators, they're great for giving you a general idea of, what your, how many calories that you're going to be burning in a day. But, they're not exactly precise. It's going to require a little bit of trial and error. And lastly, this really focuses on, weight gain and weight loss, not too much on complex body goals like building muscle, while losing fat, body recompositions. Those type of goals, it's a little bit more difficult to do with just a pure calories in versus calories out. You'll really need to look at more of the macronutrients, which I'll get to on my fourth approach. So who's this ideal for? Basically, this calorie counting approach is really ideal for people who are just trying to maintain their weight. They want to just look at the scale and see, all right, I need to get to this weight by this time frame. How am I going to do it? How much calories am I going to adjust over what time period? And that's how they get to it. This is also great for people who are, obese or overweight, and they're just trying to get down to a healthier weight. They're not even looking at trying to build muscle or, just lose a lot of fat. It's just, they just need to get the weight off. And so counting calories, making sure you're eating below your BMI is great for that. This is also great for people who want a little bit more of a scientific approach to kind of hold themselves a little bit more accountable, but they don't want to get bogged down into counting all the macronutrients or getting into the big specifics. So it's kind of like a nice medium. I think the vast majority of people will kind of enjoy this a little bit more because it does have that math and scientific aspect to it, but it doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it's a little bit more convenience to it too. All right, this gets me to my the fourth lifestyle method, and this is counting macros. Basically, for this, you're counting your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, and you're setting thresholds for each of these macronutrients. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So basically, this is like more of a deeper dive than just counting calories specifically. A lot of times, these new diet tools, I would call them, they really rely on counting your macros. For example, the keto diet, which is really popular. This is a diet which puts your body in a ketosis state, and so it's going to be high in fat, high in protein, but low in carbs. And you're talking about less than 20 to 30 grams of carbs. You also have other diets like carb cycling, where you're going to have low, medium, high days. You're going to have low fat and high protein diets, etc. So all of these little diets, they kind of require you to count these macros to be more sustainable and to be really effective. So if you guys want me to do a video in the future about these other type of dieting tools, I'm very happy to do so, and just leave a comment below. So what are the pros of this approach? I'd say out of the three methods we've covered, this is the most scientific. Everything these days has a nutritional label, or you can find it in a directory like MyFitnessPal. And this allows you to set more complex goals. If you want to build muscle while losing fat, you're going to set your macros specifically, or if you're trying to really cut down while hanging on to that muscle, you're also going to adjust it differently. Like you might increase your protein content a little bit higher to combat the catabolism, while reducing your fats, or, etc. So basically you're playing with these different levels to attain more of these body recompositions or more complex goals versus simply weight management. What are the cons for this? This is very time consuming, probably the most time consuming of the four different approaches I've been talking about. A lot of times you need to meal prep, or you need a food scale to really be precise and to know those macros accurately. And also sometimes the level of detail isn't always available to you. A lot of times if you go out to eat at restaurants, you're going to really have to make an educated guess, use MyFitnessPal or something to find the closest item that's available to you. So those are some of the drawbacks with this approach. This is more ideal for people who are big fitness enthusiasts, athletes, bodybuilders, etc. People with goals such as body recompositions, something other than just weight management. And this is also great for people who are trying to explore different dieting tools like keto diet or carb cycling or etc. So just to wrap things up now, I talked about 4 different nutritional lifestyle approaches. Together, these make up the nutritional lifestyle spectrum. Start over here with your eating healthy approach. Then you have your portion control, counting calories, and lastly, you're counting macros. And I wouldn't say one approach is better than the other. I think it really comes down to your lifestyle, your time commitments, your personal commitments. What type of level of complexity do you want? And more importantly, what are your body goals? So I think that's really going to dictate which of the approaches you implement in your lifestyle. Again, I talked about, what is ideal for which type of person, whether you're more of a new person to fitness and nutrition, whether you really don't like math but want to be more health conscious, whether you want more of that scientific approach, hold yourself more accountable but focus more on weight management, or whether you have more complex body goals like body recompositions, building muscle and while losing fat, or whether you're trying to explore different dieting tools. That'll kind of dictate which type of lifestyle you include in your diet. All right, so thank you so much. I know this is a long video. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video or learned something new, please give this a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Make sure you comment below on which one of these approaches you'd like to include in your lifestyle. Also, let me know what type of future topics you'd like me to cover, and I'll make sure I do that. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, so you'll be notified right away when I upload a new video. I try to upload like every 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes I get a little bit busy and it takes a bit, but I'll definitely throw more content out there for you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.